Ah, yes. Ah, yes. In the paddock F1, Greeny and the Cheese. It's not a race week. So, of course, we're hanging out in Greentopia. It's a great place. It's a damn great place.
Oh,
it's always a great place. Because the beer flows like wine, and the wine flows like beer, and the cannabis grows as far as the eyes can see. It's like that Iowa corn, baby. Just keeps on going. But we're not taking a walk to the top of the hill. It's in the news special.
In the news.
There's a lot of news, actually. There's a lot of news. The week heading into Coda. We'll be back on track. We're caffeinated. We are medicated. So let's get right into it.
Oh yeah, let them steel drums play all day long. It is in the paddock F1 with Greeny and the Cheese. We are back in between races here before we end up in good old USA in Austin. I saw their pop-up Lego store they got going on, which was a big announcement for F1, I think, this morning. So if you're in the Austin, Texas area, for those of you who I know are listening down in that Austin, Texas area to the program, thank you very much for those folks. You can go check that out. Hope you do. And thank you for all the listeners we've had all across the world. Again and again, thank you for who are clicking on that sponsorship button and helping throw in a couple bucks our way to keep the show rolling, keep the good times going. And yeah, of course, we have in the news a lot of news, a lot going on. It's like 2026 has already begun, sir. I think we should definitely kick it off with George Russell as whispers. Whispers from Brackley. What are those whispers?
Apparently, George has declined 2 contracts with Mercedes. The man wants more cash and less marketing days. He wants a Lewis Hamilton type deal. Does he deserve that type of deal?
It sounds more like he wants he's not going to get a Lewis deal. Because he hasn't won any drivers' championships. Remember, before Lewis came to Mercedes, he had already won a championship with McLaren. So it's not as if this was some kind of an individual like George Russell. I have several points that have been boiling inside of me. And number one, and something you had mentioned, is that less circus, more driving. And being an F1 driver these days, the circus that you have to go through, the interviews, the razzle-dazzle of the moments that you're in, that take your focus off of driving the car and put your focus more on entertaining those who are mildly interested in the sport, which is the financial backbone. Those who are in the middle, right? The hardcore fans are not going anywhere. The people who are not interested at all are never showing up. It's those ones in the middle that may or may not watch the race, that may or may not buy the product, that you want to sell. And George Russell is a great selling point for those people. I mean, if George Russell wanted to quit tomorrow and say, I want to be the next James Bond, he could probably do that. Okay? You're a Bond fan. How would you like Russell as your next Bond? But he could do that, for sure. Or at least make some knockoff Bond movie. That's point number one. So the guy wants, I don't even think it's about the money. How much money can you spend? He wants a 3-year, $90 to $100 million deal, and they're not willing to give it to him. Why aren't they willing to give it to him? Okay, so to my next point. When you have Kimi Antonelli, okay, and now you have George Russell, you're going to be locking them both up till at least 2027, if not 2028. So if a guy like Max Verstappen becomes available, you have nowhere to put him. You have nowhere to go. Right? You're locked into 2 drivers, and I really feel that the folks at Brackley don't want to be locked into 2 drivers for the next 3 seasons after this one, because that's what it would be. You know, you're getting Kimi at a more discounted rate for sure over the next couple of years. He's not going to be in that $30-40 million range where he will be at if he continues any kind of success and starts winning races. He could be there, right? Also, third point, Kimi Antonelli, the way he was treated and the way he came up so quickly through the system versus the way George Russell came through the system might make George Russell at this point a little bit salty. I'd be salty too, based on the way that he came up through the ranks versus the way Kimi was like, all right, you just got your driver's license, let's go. Let's go. You're the man. And George was like, you put me through the ringer a little bit, as they did compared to where Kimi was.
Yeah, that's fair.
And final point, I think there's one thing brewing, and I think in Toto Wolff's mind, he does feel burnt by Lewis Hamilton still, and I think he's a little salty too. So there's a lot of saltiness going on. There's that idea that you're going to be stuck. I think stuck with Kimi Antonelli and George Russell for the next 3 seasons, could be a really good thing. I don't see the harm in having that. That could be a pretty dominant team over the next 3 years, especially with Mercedes on the mechanical side. What people think this could be one of the better cars, if not the best car, over the next cycle through. So those are my points. I'd love to hear what you have to say about that. And of course, sir, anything else you want to add to this madness mystery of George Russell's lack of a contract?
No, I think I totally agree that the way that George had to work his way up to that seat versus Kimi Antonelli just being given, a top teamish kind of seat. Definitely a little salt in the wounds for a little bit salty for sure. I definitely agree with that. I can see him trying to get more cash. I could see him trying to do a like a 1+1 kind of deal or something like that, even trying to get a deal like that so he's not locked in case, after the new cars next year, another team looks more promising to win a world title. I mean, Russell has come out and said after the last race that, he thinks he's ready to take that next step to win a world title and wants to be somewhere where he can win a world title. So I think he wants to keep options open there as well. But the man wants more cash. He wants to be less marketing days. And marketing days in Formula One is going to sponsor events. Pleasing the sponsors, shaking hands and kissing babies during the week before you have to go to the track and then get focused. So drivers do a lot of that stuff. Drivers do a lot of traveling when they're not at the track just to go around and do sponsor events. So man wants to concentrate more on his craft and get paid more cash. Probably a little salty for the way things shook out a little bit. I could definitely understand your point there too, with Toto being a little salty after the Lewis situation. There's a bunch of things going on. And it's a contract negotiation. And Russell's performance this year has definitely put the ball probably more in his court to try and get more cash and to get less marketing days, because he has been the number one driver for Mercedes, and he's fourth in the standings or something like that. So he's been one of the better drivers on track all season as well. So you know
Fourth
what?
in the standings.
Get that cash when you can get that cash.
Fourth in the standings. Get what you can while you can.
Heck yeah.
Absolutely.
Get that cash.
Grab what
that
you
cash.
Can. Get what you can while you can. That's for damn sure. I'm going to leave it with this point. Since the summer break, the only person with more points than George Russell is Max Verstappen. So, not Oscar Piastri, not Lando Norris. It's Max and George are number 1 and 2 since the break. And I don't see that changing for the last 6 races of the season. What else you got, sir?
All right. Well, we'll move to story number 2. This one's a little juicy. We've actually discussed this on the program the last few weeks because it's got involving Christian Horner again. Ferrari stock has dropped 15% in one day this past week. John Elkann is putting a lot of pressure on Fred Vasseur since Ferrari is yet to win a driver's title in 18 years. And apparently John wants Christian Horner to take over the team, per reports. Horner to Ferrari. Your thoughts?
I mentioned it last week. I mentioned it the last few weeks, and I've noticed more and more Fred Vasseur's complacency. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but in front of the camera, he seems a little too touristy, right? He seems like he's there having a good time, and what he should be doing is giving the Toto Wolff face a little more, which is, we came here to win.
A little more boot to ass?
We came here to dominate. We didn't come here to take pictures with the hot chicks on the track and hang out with the celebrities and drink Mai Tais, okay? We came here to win. This is a business trip. And Fred Vasseur is just, his body language and demeanor to me, especially over the last few months, and again, I mentioned it several times on the program, is just way too complacent. And you're seeing that with 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th place finishes consistently between Lewis and Leclerc. You're not seeing any When's the last time Ferrari was on the podium? How many podiums have they had this year? Total.
Not enough.
Well, definitely not enough. That's for damn sure. I don't even know the number, but if anything, even if this whole Christian Horner thing is bullshit, right? It lights a fire, hopefully, under Fred Vasseur's ass. Because that's what I would do if I was in a position. And a 15% stock drop, that's crazy. Buy the dip. If you follow the stocks, if you don't, just don't touch it. But you might want to buy the dip on that one.
No, I think he better light a fire under his ass, otherwise he's not going to have a job. And with the performance, I mean, this was supposed to be the year. Going into this year, and it's been an absolute debacle. The car design was trash. I mean, this is the way it's been for a long time now. Every year, it's, this is the year. This is the year. The car's great. We're going to dominate, and it's the same damn thing. And they shit the bed. If it doesn't light a fire in his ass, he's got to go. And you have a proven possible team principal out on the market that's proven to make a team a winner. Why not? The guys you kept bringing in recently ain't doing the job, so keep going until you find somebody because this guy's going to return Ferrari to the top. Plain and simple.
The crazy thing is, you could probably say that about most of the teams and franchises you support.
Yeah,
your New York Yankees,
probably,
your Notre Dame Fighting Irish, your New York Rangers, your New York Knicks. You could throw that in there. That diatribe, this is the year. It's called that preseason enthusiasm.
Pretty much,
crashing down pretty quickly. The 1990s were a long time ago, sir. But, I completely agree with you. And someone needs to light a fire under their ass. And they need to at least
I got right now that is anything is my Reds from Liverpool, and that's about it.
That's all you got.
All my USB teams are. They like to tease you.
And that was tough
and
for
they
a
break
while,
your
too.
heart.
That was tough for a while, too.
It was a long time going with that one, too. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right, sir. So we have a little more juice over here, which I think we need to squeeze out because we have some lawsuit juice if you want to get into that. And with that, we're going to have an extra special YouTube-only program coming up later in the week. So if you have listened this far into the podcast, you might want to check out our YouTube special coming in this week about the story that Cheese is going to talk about right now.
Oh man, there's all kinds of stuff going down in the courthouse. Alex Pillow and McLaren. McLaren's trying to get 30 million from him from a deal collapse. It's kind of madness. He said some things in court. Zach Brown never wanted Oscar Piastri. The decision came from Andrea Seidel. It's madness.
It goes even deeper. So I started
It
looking
goes
into
deeper.
it because a lot of this information
Yeah.
has come out over the last couple days, and there's a lot there. So I'm going to have to look in it, use our put our lawyer hats on here, put our attorney hats on, and dig a little deeper into this story. So that's why we're going to wait until Wednesday, maybe Thursday, to bring you this story as a YouTube exclusive. So check that out for sure, and be sure to go to the YouTube page and like us there. You can always listen to the pod there and check out all the YouTube shorts we put up. So if you don't want to listen to the whole pod, you can, check out a bunch of 30-second clips and enjoy those as well. So, yeah.
That's a spicy meatball.
Zach Brown had a metal garbage can that allegedly he was throwing files in and burning them. When they talked about burning files, I didn't think they literally meant burning files, but apparently there was some literal burning file. Allegedly. I don't even say apparently. Let's say allegedly. We're going to get into all of that, and there might be a lot more coming out as the week ensues, so we'll be checking that out later in the week. You ready for my newest segment, Cheese? So I'm going to jump on this one, and I'm calling it the $1 million idea. Because I got a $1 million idea for you right now. I should have teased it earlier in the program. I forgot. I had it in my program notes. But I should have teased you. Are you ready, sir? And
Absolutely.
anyone out there is listening to thus farly in the program. This is the $1 million money idea, because I've been reading non-stop about the traditional F1 fans complaining, justifiably so, about all the shots that you get of the girlfriends and their reactions during the race. And now you got channels dedicated to what girl has what time. Well, she was on for 34 seconds. Well, she was on for a minute and a half. Well, that's because she's hotter than this one who's on this. All right? I got a way to satisfy everyone. We have the technology to do it. We have the tools to do it. All right? You're going to call it the F1 Girlfriend Reaction Channel. That's it. You have the race leaders on the left-hand side as you have it, 1 through 20, whatever's going on, and just get the girlfriend's reactions for 90 minutes during the whole race. All right? So you get bored of the race, you flip over to the girlfriend's channel, and you watch the girls' reactions. You know? And this is applicable for all sports. This is not just for F1, because I'm hearing it from the American football crowd with Taylor Swift. How many times? We had 14 cuts this week. Well, no, she had 12 cuts. Well, why didn't she get more cuts? Because she was in this stadium and because this channel was broadcasting. It's ridiculous. Just get them their own freaking channel. People are watching for it. Just separate. You got enough viewership. You got enough. And then buy them both. Own them both. This way you win them both. Right? Those of you who listen in Florida understand this with your Seminole casinos. Doesn't matter what casino you go to. You get kicked out of one, you go to another one. They're all owned by the Seminole, Native American communities. It's the same thing. That's my $1 million idea. Jump on it now. Any sport. Pick a sport. Because hot chicks like athletes with money. Okay? Your thoughts, sir?
Sure.
Jump on ChatGPT, throw it in, make a business plan in about 14 seconds. Go to some AI website, make your presentation. In about 4 minutes, you could have a professional presentation made with all your points, which I just made for you. I'm too lazy to do it, so you should do it.
I'm on it. Let's go. Why not?
I think it's a good idea. What do you think?
Absolutely.
Think you
Hot
get some
chicks sell.
eyeballs?
It's the it's bottom line.
You know, the race is a little boring. Turn over to that channel for a little bit. All right. Well, I think we've covered everything besides the Super Bowl halftime show here. So, anything else you got, sir?
I got one more actually for you. Might be announced this week at Austin, but apparently Apple will secure the U.S. rights for Formula One in a deal worth about 140 million a year. Things still to be worked out apparently, since Apple streams is a streaming service, and Formula One has their own streaming service in F1 TV. So we'll see how that all works out. But apparently Apple will have the rights.
Listen, those of us cable cavemen. That's what I'm calling it now. Because I'm a cable caveman, right? I go back to my cave at the end of the day, and I put on my old cable box, tune it up. It takes about a second and a half to actually turn on, versus the apps that are automatic. Go back, light the fire in my living room, and watch my caveman box. No, everything is streaming now. And if you don't have streaming, obviously Formula One is going to have a problem with it. But the Formula One package versus the Apple package, Formula One package doesn't offer anything else besides Formula One. It doesn't offer any other entertainment. So How are you going to convince those of us who have to share a bank account with someone who may not be as enthusiastic about Formula One as they might be, whether it's your husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, they, them, it, whatever, you might not be the only one paying the bill. So the Formula One doesn't make sense. Going back to what I said before, you got to get the fans in the middle. The F1 fanatics like us are going to buy the package. We're going to spend the $200, $300 a year and get that package and get the Formula One package to watch the races, right? The people in the middle aren't going to spend that. So to catch them where they are, right? When I advertise for my business, I don't advertise in the newspaper anymore. You advertise online, right? Because that's where people are. Right. People used to be in the newspapers, you go to the newspapers. People used to have all cable television, you go on cable television. Now everyone has Apple, you go to Apple, right? And it's enticing. You're going to have a big thing that's enticing. Remember when XM satellite radio came about? What they did, they paid ridiculous amounts of money to the likes of Howard Stern's and Oprah Winfrey's, hundreds of millions of dollars. Way overpaid them because they wanted to be in the next platform. And you're seeing the same thing here. You're forcing people to either purchase the F1 channel, which is absolutely fantastic. You can watch every camera view, and the race day is fantastic. You get all the information you can possibly get. So if you're a Formula One fan, I definitely recommend that. But if you want to spend only, $8, $10, $12 a month, Apple TV might be a much better resource. And for those cable cavemen, as I mentioned before, you might give another reason to cut the cord.
I'm curious to see how it's all going to work out. So, because I actually have F1 TV, so it's freaking fantastic.
Fantastic. All right, what else you got, sir?
That's all I got for you.
Oh, I missed it earlier. What did I miss? I mentioned Legos before, but also they're making a Duplo sets. If they're not out already, you'll see more and more Duplo little kid Formula One sets coming out. Also this weekend, Peanuts. Yes, Snoopy is going to be teaming up with Formula One for some cross-promotion there. So you get your exclusive Coda Snoopy cowboy hat Formula One t-shirts. You might want to check those out for those who do the Snoopy dance like you.
Snoopy in a race suit. I'm down.
So you might want to go check that out as well. That's about all I got. Oh, and Lauren Meeks coming out saying, "Don't look at me for the Red Bull success. It's not me." So, quite a humble quote from him when asked about his role in the success, and he's just saying, "I'm the guy sitting here. It's not me." So, love that and
Mm-hmm.
pumped. Oh, and final note is Yuki Tsunoda might be working at a clothing store or supermarket near you sometime soon. So we'll see what happens there with the future of Yuki Tsunoda. So all that and more coming up next week as we head here into the United States, to Texas, to Coda. Say what you got to say, brother.
We'll see you guys sometime this week for the YouTube special episode. Definitely check that out. And of course, we'll catch you next week for post race. And as always, stay medicated, my friends.
Peace.